This is Shane Watson here for PSP Sports. I'm lucky enough to be joined by Kalle Sauerland. How are you, Kalle?
Very well, and you?
Yeah, good. You're a very busy man at the moment in boxing. We've just finalised a heavyweight showdown between Joshua and Groves-Eubank with Eddie Hearn. You've got the World Boxing Super Series, which I know has taken years of planning, as you mentioned before. Boxing's booming right now, as you agree.
We've got also the European Championship with Warrington and Ceylan in a few days.
Yeah, also in Riyadh you defend his European title.
Breckus against Svensson Michaela Loren in Norway. So we've got a few things going on. Yeah, I think we've got 12 shows in 8 weeks.
Oh wow!
In I think 7 countries.
Oh okay.
So it's good fun.
Good fun, and that means business is booming as well. So that means it's great. It's great.
It's good. It's good at the moment. Yeah, it's all good.
So a little bit on this event first. We've got George Groves this weekend against Jamie Cox. A big, well, not really a grudge match, but it's a British showdown. So then it kind of automatically goes into like a grudge kind of match kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because you're rivals, and obviously when you're both from the same country, you always want to be better and bigger than the other one as well. And I know that they've known each other for a long time. So how big is this fight for each fighter coming Saturday night?
Well, I think you've just answered your own question. I think it's you know, whenever you face a countryman, you know, the difference is when you beat someone from another country, they get back on a plane, you don't see them again. You see them maybe at awards or once a year at a convention. But ultimately, when you lose to a countryman, it's a different thing, you know. It's different magic that gets thrown up. And I think for Saturday night, it's obviously, you know, George finally getting that world title, Super Championship with the WBA, in the quarterfinals of the Muhammad Ali Trophy, fighting an underscript challenger who's undefeated, who's on his way up. Could be seen as David and Goliath here, you know, it's a young lion coming through. So let's see what the young lion has on Saturday, and you know, like George says, you know, is he going to step to the stage? I mean, everything on his record suggests he can. So the platform's there, you know, one of the biggest shows in boxing is coming to town, and the stage is set for Jamie Cox to go and do his thing and George Groves to do his thing, and we all know there's several $1 million at stake here, and WBA Super Championship, and hey, guess what? We know who the winner's going to fight. You know, so it's quite a special feeling. It's not that Kalle's going to go away and tell you in the post-fight interview, say, yeah, well, I might go make that fight and let the guys go on holiday, and you know, the usual thing that I say after a fight. Well, on Saturday I don't need to say that, do I? I said, we know we're fighting Eubank. We know Eubank's going to fight against Jamie or against George. We know that Chris has got to fight them. And it's all done. That's the semi-final. It's set. So, you know, it's got a storyline to it. We know everything that's at stake, and it's why all eyes on Saturday night. As you know, like George says, he's not taking his eyes a second off Jamie, and I'm sure Jamie's not taking his eyes a second off George. That's the prize at stake. The semi-final, of course, is massive. But Saturday night here is huge. It's absolutely huge.
George Groves has been in some of the biggest fights in British boxing history, aka the 2 fights with Carl Froch. He's a massive name in British boxing. Everyone knows who George Groves is. Does he need these kind of fights to keep him motivated and to make sure you continue to see the best of George Groves?
You know, I think George is, you know, he's obviously a great personality outside the ring as well. And I will say, you know, there's champions and there's personalities. And George is definitely now a champion and a personality. There's champions who, unfortunately, go unnoticed their whole career, despite being great boxers. You know, and I think George definitely ticks both boxes. Let's put it that way. He's an absolute box office hit. You know, he's a pay-per-view seller. We all know that. He's been involved in some of the biggest events, super middleweight, in the last few years. But hey, guess what? He's in one again on Saturday. You know, George has that timing, has that certain superstar knack of knowing. It's almost like he's made for the big event. You know, and you know, Jamie's stepping up. It's his first time on the big platform. Let's see how he does. Let's see how Jamie does. I'm quite excited to see how Jamie does on the big stage on Saturday. And you know, all sets it up for the for the big stage in the semi as well against Groves-Eubank Jr.
Also, a little bit on Groves-Eubank Jr. He's done probably maybe even a career best performance against Andy Yildirim on Saturday night, and Andy Yildirim is also maybe a little bit more of an unknown quantity as well, especially to the British boxing fans at the time. But I don't think really anyone was expecting a destruction like that from Groves-Eubank Jr. And also there was a lot of controversy in the build-up between a manager of Yildirim and a member of Team Eubank. Is there much you can say on what happened there and the details of what happened?
Well, I don't think I need to say too much there. I mean, he said it on camera, so he asked him whether he could shag his wife. I don't need to repeat that too often. I think it was there for everyone to see. I think he apologised afterwards. Yeah, it was a temper tantrum, you know, and was it the right thing to say? No, it certainly wasn't. You know, was it a very hot week in Stuttgart? Yes, it was. You know, there were some appalling scenes before the fight. You know, fans clashing. It wasn't really fans; it was more gangs, I think. So it was a bizarre week, ending with a bizarre atmosphere when they walked into the ring. I thought. I mean, it was really hot in there, and at the end of the day, you've got to give it to Chris Jr. for keeping his cool, because he really did keep his cool. He kept his cool at the press conference, he kept his cool at the weigh-in, and he certainly kept his cool at the fight. So when you look at that, you know, you understand why bookmakers are suddenly making him the favourite. Now it sort of hands over to London. You know, George Groves, Jamie Cox. Now these guys have got to make a statement. You know, that's the feeling you get. You know, the feeling I get up here is not only does certain people want to perform on Saturday night, but want to make a statement as well.
Also, there's been a lot of reports recently. I know as a promoter sometimes you have to look ahead because planning for big fights takes a long time to sort out. But people are saying if Groves does come through against Jamie Cox, the potential showdown between George Groves and Eubank Jr. could be at Stamford Bridge. Is that something that's been considered?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're looking ahead, whether it's Cox, whether it's Groves. It's clear that Eubank's there now. We've been looking ahead the whole time. We have to. We've got venues blocked. What we are doing is opening up a discussion to football stadium. We believe that we might go outdoors with the event because simply we don't see a venue currently that fits the schedule. And it is a tournament, it has to stay within that schedule, that can hold an event that size, you know. So, you know, it's an event that fills a stadium without doubt. It's huge, Groves. And by the way, the same thing, you don't know the performance of Cox on Saturday night, the way this fight goes. So if George Groves has made in the public eye, I knew about George Groves a lot longer than that, and the boxing hardcore did as well. But George broke into the mainstream with his first fight against Froch. On a similar, you know, it was I'm not saying it was totally different, but it was a night like that.
Yeah.
It was, you know, Cox, Groves, there were undefeated challengers going in against champions of high pedigree. You know, he just came off his fight against Mikkel Kessler. You know, George has just come off winning his world title. There's some similarities there, so you know, I think George has said the right thing. He hasn't taken his eyes off the prize here.
And also massive news for Team Pulev and Team Sauerland, and obviously for Anthony Joshua. A massive heavyweight showdown at the Principality Stadium in Wales against mandatory challenger Groves-Eubank. How are you feeling about this as a team? Also because a lot of media are writing Pulev off as an opponent, but a lot of boxing experts are actually giving Pulev a lot of credit here because he was a very good amateur and he does have genuine boxing skills and he has shown that in the past. But do you think Pulev is looked over by a lot of people as well?
Of course it is, and anyone who's, you know, that's what Anthony said himself, he's learning on the job. You look at a guy like Pulev, he's not ideal to be learning against. Yeah? Just look at his record, look at people he's chopped down, big guys, Dimitrenko, Tony Thompson, Ustinov. Yeah, he stopped them and he's chopped them. Tony Thompson went to points, but was wobbling badly in the last round. But you know, the pedigree's there. He's had a huge amateur career. Anthony's had 40 fights. You know, is Anthony a great fighter? Absolutely. Look at the strengths he brings, but you've also got to look at the weaknesses, and that's where, you know, I think Pulev throws it up. Where I think people who were saying this is a 6-1, 7-1, it's ridiculous. Absolutely not. They say any heavyweight fight with Groves-Eubank 6-1. This is a very, very dangerous challenger.
And also with Groves-Eubank, I know there was a lot of talk in the build-up that the fight might have to be pushed back because he didn't feel like he had enough time to get ready for the fight. Was that a stumbling block in the end, and that made it very hard to make the fight?
No, it was mandatory. So the fight got made because it was a mandatory fight. Pulev didn't want to fight him as a voluntary at the time. It was different money. He's getting double the money now.
Okay. And also, so going forward with Groves-Eubank, I know he's got a very big hard test in front of him, but is maybe a massive world title fight in Bulgaria afterwards something he really wants to do for his country as well?
Let's talk about that when he's beaten Anthony Joshua. Not before that.
Okay, well thanks for talking to PSP Sports today. It was good to have you on, and we'll catch up with you ahead of Saturday.